The ultimate final identity shift that really changes your life in a profound way is the identity shift from the ego to consciousness. And I want to explain that in a little bit more depth. The ego is the activity of thought beliefs muddled up together, mixed together to create who you think you are. And here's the emphasis, who you think you are, right? Like when you walk around and you reference yourself, right? Something happens and you reference yourself. What does this mean about me? The voice that is referencing yourself, that is the ego. And it's not a bad thing per se, right? It's not something we have to judge or try hard to eliminate, but it's just to have that awareness. That is what the ego is, the activity of thoughts and beliefs that muddle up together to create the central character that you believe yourself to be. Now, when you wake up to the realization of consciousness, when you wake up to the realization of your true nature, you start feeling, oh goodness, I am not just the character I believe myself to be. I am so much more. Actually, I'm the vast, unchanging, beautiful, pristine being and presence that gives rise to experience, that gives rise to thoughts, that gives rise to beliefs, that gives rise to even the experience of me identifying with my thoughts. When you start awakening to that nature, it is the beginning of an identity shift. In the beginning, you will have these awakenings into consciousness, into awareness, into the awareness of being. And they'll be beautiful, peaceful, wonderful experiences. But then you'll notice the gravity of conditioning pulls you back into relating to yourself as this character. Experience just keeps pulling you back into that belief of who you are. And you're not doing anything wrong when that happens. It's just the awakening process. You start realizing your true nature, you start feeling it, you experience it in a visceral way. And then you try to hold on to it. And who's the one trying to hold on to it? It is the ego. It is the identity of the separate self, the one that feels separate from life. So it's not about trying to hold on to it, but it is about practicing to keep going back to the nature of our being, to keep affirming within ourselves that that is who we truly are. So you can deconstruct this habit and this conditioning of always going back to your perceived identity, the one you think yourself to be. Now, when this shift happens, the shift from ego to consciousness, I want to let you know that it can be a painful process as well. It is not only a joyful process. It is in moments a deeply joyful, elating, peaceful process, right? The realization that you're so much more than what you thought you were. But as you awaken to that experience, what else happens? The dying off process of who you thought you were. Slowly, in order to root and center your identity in the presence of being, in the nature of who you are, that which you thought yourself to be has to slowly integrate and dissolve. And that is the grieving process that we have to go through. And that can be a challenging, tumultuous journey. So be patient and kind with yourself.